Question number 1. Considering the fact that you are a professional who has used multiple converted printers, what's the experience compared? I'm guessing he means from commercial to desktop or from desktop to commercial, and is it worth the switch? So I'm guessing he means, is switching from a desktop printer to commercial worth the switch? First of all, I wanted to address something. Professional is a very heavy word. I do not consider myself a professional at all, but I do appreciate it. In my journey, I did in fact use multiple desktop printers, and now switching to the commercial printer you see in the background. I have a few things I want to cover. First of all, color accuracy, quality, white outlines, problems in general, time, automation, trials and tribulation, and in general, is it worth the switch? So first of all, color accuracy. Personally, from my own experience, I feel like the desktop printers that I was once used has a way better color accuracy compared to commercial, which is faster, yes, but you are sacrificing a lot of the color accuracy. Color accuracy in the commercial printer really comes down to ICC profile and the flexi ripping process, or whatever the software you use to rip your files. And also, if I'm using Print XP, so I have ways to adjust the color, but I'm very limited compared to desktop printers, which I found that the color accuracy was way more accurate. So personally, desktop printer takes a point. Quality, again, I'm gonna have to give the point to desktop printer, so it's 2-0 right now. The quality on desktop is incredible compared to commercial. That's just my humble opinion. You would think that you're spending more on print heads and the actual commercial equipment is more expensive, that the quality would be better, but in my experience, the quality is way better on desktop. White outline. The white outline on desktop printer is almost non-existent compared to commercial, especially a forehead printer. In my experience, it is almost impossible to avoid the white outline completely. That happens when you have a white outline around your image, and for me, desktop printers are just way better at that, way less trials and tribulations when it comes to trying to fix that white border. I will make a video on commercial printers on how to fix the white border. However, it is in some cases impossible to completely remove. Again, I'm speaking from experience. Some people might be able to, but for me, the white outline is a bit less desirable on the commercial printers, so desktop takes a point once again, 3-0. Problems in general. Now I'll have to give a point to commercial printer, because even though this commercial printer gave me endless trials and tribulations, it's nothing to compare desktop printers. Desktop printers are very slow, and a lot of problems can arise, changing parts a lot more frequently. Desktop printers, you can let them print for hours and hours without any problems, in my experience. So commercial printers are way better when it comes to problems, for at least my experience. Commercial printer takes the point. So when it comes to time in production, commercial printers are not comparable to desktop. That's the biggest pro in my experience. They are so quick, it is actually impressive. Compared to a desktop, it's night and day. Automation, again, now it's 3-3. Desktop and commercial printers are at a tie now in my experience. When it comes to automation, it is incredibly easy to automate the actual process of printing with a commercial printer. For me, I had desktop printers, but I had to manually put the powder on each and every single sheet and bake them individually, compared to the commercial printer where it's all automatic. The DTF transfer gets printed on, it goes through the oven, gets powdered, shaken on it automatically, and then on the conveyor dryer to cure it. Incredibly automated. Some people may have the desktop printer with the shaker attachment. Now that might be a different story when it comes to automation. However, from my experience, the automation on a commercial printer is just incredible. Trials and tribulations, they both gave me trials and tribulation. The desktop printers, I had them for longer, so obviously the trials and tribulations were set on a longer time frame. I've had this for under a year now, so obviously I'm a bit biased, but less trials and tribulations on the bigger printer. However, when they do happen, there's less support, so kind of a tie for that. Now, for the tiebreaker, is commercial printers worth the switch? Honestly, it really comes down to your preference. Are you going to be printing for a long period of time? Do you have lots of orders? Are you doing this more as a hobby, more as a long-term business? Do you want to eventually outsource the prints, because you can maybe switch from having 0 printers to buying transfers online, switch from a desktop printer to buying transfers online, or switch from a desktop printer to a commercial printer? However, I do suggest anybody to start with a desktop printer to see if they like DTF printing in general before switching to commercial. So hopefully that answers your question. Is it worth the switch? Again, cliche answer, but it really comes down to your personal goals. I've broken down what I've experienced, and hopefully you can make an educated decision from there. Guys, the camera just died, so we're continuing. Second question. I like the way that you presented your FedEx order. Thank you. I have a question. I like the machine that you use for the DTF. Can you please tell me where did you buy it from and how much it cost? Thanks. You're very welcome. So, interesting story about this commercial printer in the back. I actually got it from a company that was changing ownership in Montreal. Pretty much what happened is that the previous owners sold to the new owners and they wanted to change the equipment. I don't know if they're still doing DTF to this day or what's going on with that company, but basically I had an amazing deal which I paid around $4,000, I'd say, for this printer. I paid another $1,000 for 1 year of supplies, so I was extremely lucky, and I'm still grateful to this day because I'm still using the same supplies I was almost a year ago. So initial investment, I'd say it was around $4,000 to $5,000. However, I had to pay for transport to go get the printer, labor, to have friends come help me during the day to transport this printer. I had to pay for a technician that came out multiple times, and the technician actually robbed me over $1,500. That's a story for another video. I think I talked about it a bit in previous videos. However, electricity, computer, all the other costs, we're looking at around $15,000 to $20,000 in total. So pretty decent price. However, the time and effort I invested into this printer, yeah, so you do save, like I did save some money by buying it second hand. However, if I would have known all the trials and tribulations I were going to face, I would have prepared myself more mentally. I do not regret it. However, even though I got it for a low price, in the end it still cost me around the same price as a brand new one, and I was around 6 months without printing anything in the shop. So the shop was basically completely stopped for 6 months. I burned through some print heads. I almost quit, to be completely honest with you guys. So sometimes buying used and cheap isn't the best option. Just FYI. Third question. What makes DTF printing different compared to DTG, screen printing, and all the other types of printing you can do? Amazing question. So DTF, the way I want you guys to see it, simply said, it's a heat transfer sticker. DTF is basically applying a sticker on a garment. That's the easiest way to describe it. Screen printing, as you guys probably know, is made with a stencil, ink. You squeegee the ink through the stencil, creating the image that the stencil had on the shirt with different colored ink. You layer screens, basically. So you do one pass with screen printing, and then you do another pass once it's been cured to layer your ink on top of each other if you have multiple colors. Vinyl is basically like a big CNC machine that's cutting out the vinyl and you're weeding off the excess. DTG is like your printer at home that you use to print regular sheets, not transfer sheets, but just regular paper. But instead of printing directly on a piece of paper, DTG is printing directly on the garment. You have to pre-treat the garment, and then you literally load your shirt like a screen printing press, but inside a DTG machine, and it layers the ink directly on the actual t-shirt or hoodie, whatever you're printing on. And DTF is kind of a mix of everything. You have a Photoshop, you have your printing software, whatever the printing software may be. You load up the image inside of your printing software, you print it, and then it goes through the printer like a regular printer with special ink. It goes through the oven, and if you have a commercial printer, what it does is that it loads into the oven, it applies a special type of powder on the backing of the image. It gets cured. After that, you cut up your DTF transfer, and you basically have a sticker ready to be pressed onto something. It can be pressed on different type of stuff, even shoes, leather, a lot of stuff, right? So that's basically the main difference. In my opinion, DTF transfers are very versatile. The color looks amazing, but however, when it comes to quality, I would suggest that you guys take a look at different options when it comes to long term. You can also do embroidery. There's a bunch of different ways you can go about having different types of quality for your clients. We specialize in DTF because that's how I pretty much evolved. I actually started with screen printing and vinyl. However, you need a lot of space and a lot of patience when it comes to screen printing. For DTF, it's a lot more straightforward. If you have multiple colors, you don't need to upsell your clients different type of screens. In my opinion, it's the best printing method that currently exists when it comes to simplifying the process of printing in general. However, when it comes to long-term quality, I do suggest that you guys seek other options to offer your clients if ever they want very good quality. That's something that's going to last the test of time. When it comes to the process of screen printing vinyl and DTG, they are all completely different yet similar in their own way. DTG is more direct, like it says in the name. DTF is more step-by-step, and also screen printing is more step-by-step. They all have a different process. I'll let you guys take a look at different videos on screen printing vinyl and DTG so you can learn for yourself how the different processes work. Another thing we need to cover is time. Screen printing is quicker when you're doing the production, however the setup time is longer. There's a lot of different variables that can affect the time aspect of your preferred printing method. It really comes down to what type of clients you have, how many times do you want the client to be coming back, is it a seasonal thing, is it a one-time thing, is it a monthly thing. Once you have that type of relationship with your clients, you can determine, okay, is it worth for me to burn a screen for that client? You know, it really comes down to your specific needs, but the time process of every single application method is completely different. Some processes are going to be really quick and some are going to take a lot more time. When it comes to time, really take the time ironically to figure out which process is better. Once you've taken a look at the different processes, you're going to be able to figure out which one is worth your time more. For us, DTF just makes sense, again, because of the color I was talking about, and also just the fact that the placement is easier. There's a lot of things to cover in a short video, so I'll leave it up to you guys to make your own research and figure out which process is better for your specific needs, and also which one takes less time for you, because it's all different based on your setup, your space, and a lot of different variables. Last thing about that question is investment. Okay, so that's easy. Investment for DTF is literally $100. You're gonna need a mini press. I had one laying around, but basically just like a little mini press. I'll put a photo on the screen. A mini press, and you need a DTF custom transfer provider. We sell custom transfers, so you upload your image on our website and we ship out the transfers during the same day. Once you receive up those DTF transfers, you cut the transfer, you use the mini press to apply it, or an iron that you guys might have laying around at home. So something like this is going to do the job as well. As long as you have an iron and around $100, you can buy some DTF transfers, like a lot of them. And once you receive your DTF transfers, you simply cut them up. It's going to look something like this. You cut up the transfer, you use the iron to apply it to a t-shirt, a hoodie, whatever the case may be, and that's pretty much it. Once you have a new order or have a new project in mind, you simply order more transfers and you do the same process. As you keep growing, you can buy a heat press like this, you can buy a hat press to make hats, you can buy a DTF commercial printer, or you can even buy a small desktop printer. But you only need a iron and a few bucks to start DTF printing. The cost to entry is absolutely low. For vinyl, it's the same thing. You can buy custom vinyl stickers or transfers online, or you can buy a silhouette cameo, stuff like that, a plotter. Basically, a heat press is going to help you a lot, whether it be DTF or vinyl. DTG, from my personal experience and what I've heard online, you can't really buy transfers. Maybe you can, I don't want to lie to you guys, but if you were to go the traditional route and buy the DTG machine, it's going to set you back a few thousand, if not 10-20,000, depending on the quality of the machine you choose. DTG is more expensive. You need a pre-treat machine if you want to speed up the process. So there's a lot of different steps, and from my experience, you can buy DTG transfers online. Screen printing. Screen printing is the same principle I just told you with DTF. The cost to entry is very low. Whether you do it by yourself or you buy transfers online. Yes, you can now buy plastisol transfers online. Same thing as DTF transfers, but better quality in my opinion, especially if you have a one color like a white or a black. You get the screen printed transfer and you heat apply them with an iron or a heat press. Or you can buy your own screen printing equipment. I think a few $100 you're going to be able to have a screen printing press, squeegee, a few screens, emulsion, all that good stuff to start your journey. I'd say that the two least expensive options to start printing today would be DTF transfers, screen printing transfers, screen printing equipment, or vinyl equipment. That would be probably the easiest way to get started. If you have the space and you have the patience, I would most definitely start with screen printing. It's the best quality and the cost to entry is very low. It's basically just time and experience and a lot of space to store your materials. So hopefully that answers your question. How do I properly care for my DTF printed garment? That is an incredible question. How do I maintain my t-shirt, my hoodie once it's been printed? That's especially good if you're reselling your clothing brand, or you're doing custom printed apparel for other clients, and I don't see that many videos online on that specific subject. So how do you care for your garment? Very simple. Once the DTF transfer is on the shirt, right, a brand new t-shirt, a brand new hoodie, once the shirt or hoodie is flipped inside out, you can throw it inside of the washer. Use cold water only, no hot water, and make sure once it's done being washed in the washer, you do not put it in the dryer. That's the best aftercare you can do for DTF prints. They are going to last so long, the colors are going to stay vibrant. If you start putting them in the dryer, you may experience wrinkling, cracking, peeling, and even color discoloration after just a few wash, depending on all of the different variables, guys. Some DTF printers are, been doing this for 5-10 years, and they have no problem. Their DTF prints are quality. They never crack, they never peel, they wrinkle after 150 washes. They're almost comparable to the quality of screen printing. And for some more beginners DTF printers, they're going to be struggling. Their shirts are going to be cracking after the first wash. So the only time you should, in my opinion, the only time you should put a DTF print in the dryer, like printed on a hoodie or t-shirt or whatever, is when you're doing tests. If you want to see if the quality is good, if it's cracking after a few dryer sessions, that's not good, So that's the only time I would put them in the dryer, or if you just don't care. Like for us, personally, I put them in the dryer because I can just make myself a new shirt, and it doesn't crack, it doesn't peel, and also gives me a good idea of the quality that I'm selling to my clients, because you can put a washing instruction label inside of the package, but it doesn't mean that your client is going to follow it. It's just that it gives you some sort of insurance. Like if ever they come back and say, oh, after 50 washes the print starts cracking, you can tell them, well, look, you put them in the dryer after so many times, it's kind of normal that it starts cracking and peeling, right? So by putting those care instructions, it's going to give them a proper way to maintain what they just paid for, right? But if they don't care and they're reckless and they just put them in the dryer, that's on them. But that's the best way. Flip the t-shirt or hoodie inside out, throw it in the washer, cold water only, and air dry the garment until it's completely dry. What are the biggest challenges in DTF printing? How can you avoid them? First of all, the biggest challenge in DTF printing, in my experience, is investment. You need to invest a lot of money if you want your own equipment and you want your own good equipment. You need print heads, inks, your materials, your hoodies, employees if you have some. The list goes on and on and on, investment-wise. Electricity, an office, a space. Like, there's so many investments you need to do to have a proper screen printing, a proper DTF shop. It is actually mind-blowing. When you start off, like I said, you can start with not even $100 iron, but as you start getting more and more orders, you're gonna have to get more equipment if you want the job to go quicker and have a better quality, right? Knowledge. Knowledge is one of the biggest challenges in DTF printing, because when you start, now it's getting a bit better with YouTube and the different people that are sharing their experience and the groups, but you need to have a lot of knowledge when you start printing by yourself. If you have your own printer, you're going to need to know how it works, how to fix it, how to make sure you kind of adapt your printing methods as you start seeing that your prints may be cracking. There's a lot of knowledge you need to have to actually be able to DTF print properly. Compared to screen printing, where you need a lot of knowledge, yes, but the information is all available online. The information for DTF is getting better day by day, and it is growing, but you rewind a few years ago, there was almost no information online. So you need a lot of knowledge, and also a lot of time. With knowledge comes time. You need to invest a lot of your time into any printing method, but for DTF especially, right? You're gonna have to spend long nights fixing your printer, long nights trying to figure out, why your colors are not coming out the right way, long nights trying to figure out how the software works, how the calibration works. It is a lot of time invested on your end. Effort and perseverance. A lot of days you're gonna come into your shop, your office, whatever the case may be, and nothing is gonna go your way. If you just quit when times get tough, you're never going to learn the true beauty of DTF printing, or any printing method for that matter. If you just come into the shop or your office and you're like, oh, it's not going my way, never mind, I'll just sell my printer, I'll just give up. If you think like that, do not get into DTF printing. It's going to be the worst nightmare you ever had. You need to have perseverance, almost delusional perseverance, where you never give up. and you try your best and you seek support, because you can't just never give up and do the same thing over and over again, because that's called madness. You need to try your best and try new things every single day if you want to learn. And you're gonna have to have incredible amounts of patience and perseverance and effort. You're gonna want to just print a transfer and apply it to your hoodie or t-shirt, and that be it. But DTF printing is all besides that. That's the easy part, when everything is going smoothly. You're gonna have to spend endless nights fixing, doing diagnostics. It is gonna be one of the most stressful and painful experience ever. And some people might say I'm melodramatic, like it's just printing. However, it does test your character, it tests your patience. Some people might have different experiences when it comes to trials and tribulations, but for me, I had multiple occasions where I really wanted to quit. However, it's really my patience that kept me going, and my perseverance and effort. If it wasn't for that, I would not be in this position, having worked with big corporations such as, FedEx. Right here we have 8 different orders that they passed during the last 2 years, and it's all made with DTF printing. I could have gave up right before I did my first ever FedEx contract, but we did not. We kept going, and after a while we are in a position where DTF printing is pretty much our main expertise. We offer vinyl stickers, stuff like that, but we focus on DTF printing. And I have now been living off of this for over 2-3 years now, full time. And it's all thanks to patience. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this FAQ Q&A questions. Make sure to comment down below what you guys want me to cover in the next video. I'll be happy to answer any frequently asked questions you have. So yeah guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you found this video somewhat helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This was Dom from Hole Printing Inc. Make a print you'll never forget.